One of the big promises San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins has made since being appointed after Chesa Boudin was recalled is getting tough on drug dealing, especially near schools. The issue is front and center in her first campaign ad.
Fentanyl is killing way too many San Franciscans. On day one of becoming district attorney, I went to work to end the open-air drug markets plaguing our city. Repealed lenient plea offers for those accused of dealing fentanyl. Increased punishments for dealing drugs near our schools.
But is the DA actually cracking down? Joining us live now after questioning or investigating this question is Michael Barba, a senior reporter with our media partner, the San Francisco Standard. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So 2 months ago, Jenkins announced a new policy allowing her prosecutors to file school zone enhancements. Tell us what that means.
It basically means that her prosecutors can add additional prison time to sentences for people who are convicted of dealing drugs near schools.
Okay, so she announced this, and then you looked into how many cases she's actually filed those enhanced charges in, and what did you find?
Yeah, it was our data team. They took a look at her different charging decisions, and they found that the DA, despite announcing this policy, has only filed enhancements for dealers near schools on 2 occasions. 2?
Okay, were there missed opportunities, though, or was that all there was?
Well, so that was another finding, is that it turns out that the police had actually made arrests near schools during school hours on at least 35 occasions since the school year began. And the DA has, like I said earlier, has only filed these school zone enhancements 2 times.
Have you talked to her office about these decisions?
We did ask her office about why they haven't filed these school zone enhancements more when she's touting this in her campaign ad. And what they pointed to was that, they depend on the police to really provide them with probable cause in their police reports. And, she said that given the opportunity, they would be filing these charges.
Okay. Look, in San Francisco, you'll have opinions on different sides. If Jenkins charged more people for school zone drug dealing, is the thinking that it would deter such crimes?
I think that's definitely her thinking. When she announced this policy, she talked a lot about disrupting the drug markets, the open-air drug markets, as she calls them. But really, there's experts and critics who doubt that policies like these school zone enhancements would have an effect on drug sales. They say the best way to deter crime is to have police increase the likelihood that someone would be arrested in the first place.
I see. And are there people saying there are serious downsides to actually enforce such enhancements?
Yeah, the other potential ramification is the fear that these enhancements might be applied disproportionately to people of color. There's some history with that in San Francisco, where there was a federal operation with police and 37 people were arrested, and all 37 of them turned out to be Black.
So how does her record on this so far compare to Boudin's policy or her predecessor, or his predecessor, I should say, George Gascon's?
Yeah, my understanding is that Boudin didn't explicitly bar these school zone enhancements, at least by policy. At the same time, we found no indication that his office filed school zone enhancements during his tenure. He was a prosecutor who generally saw incarceration or tried to use incarceration as a last resort. And the other thing to note is that he was DA at a time when many schools were closed. Obviously,
that is a
because
good
of the
point.
Pandemic.
All right, the city did do a crackdown several years ago, though, near schools, and even enlisted the help of federal prosecutors. How did that play out?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. There were 37 arrests, and all 37 of them were Black, the people who were arrested. So that spawned a lawsuit from the ACLU, and it ended up resulting in a settlement agreement that I think was over $200,000.
So that was that case. All right.
Yeah, and those were similar charges to the school zone enhancements that Jenkins is talking about filing.
Interesting.
So there's some worries there that a situation like that could be replicated again.